Alrighty, y'all. So this is going to be a behind the scenes of my animation slash whatever studio. I haven't made a video in a while because I've been working like non-stop just about on some cartoons and stuff, trying to get something going. And I haven't made any tutorials. I'm sorry about that, but I've been really focused on trying to get this cartoon made. And I finally got the first episode made, so I'll have that linked if you want to watch that on my other channel. Yeah, I'm just going to show you the process. Alrighty. Alright, it's going to be my animation studio tour. There's my bed. So I got my art supplies under there. Got this heavy duty shelf. And I got like art supplies down there, costume supplies. If I need live action or a costume, I got stuff over there. And then behind these, I have an area where I do my costume making. I got my colored pencils and my markers and paintbrushes and pens and whatnot. More colored pencils. I got my spare pens and my ink pens in here. Spare parts and erasers. Let's see, over here, this is my drawing slash audio recording area. It rotates here. That way I can just sit on my bed and do my drawings. This is my secondary computer. I have my microphone here, my music stand here, and what I have this for is so whenever I do my audio recording, I'll have my microphone, then I'll have my script up here. My studio light shining towards my drawing workspace and my script reading workspace. Over here I got my plastic doodad, which I do not like. The casters are trash. My notebooks and stuff, I got my folders, my sketch notebooks, flashcards, dividers, notebook paper, extra binders, whatnot. I have this other little shelf right here. So on this one I have that printer, but that printer crapped out on me. I got that down there. I got my laptop case right here. I got some more notebooks. And I have all this separated, like comic notebooks over here. Come over here. I got my drawing pads. I got my idea book. I got my comic book for like completed comics. It's on wheels, so I can just roll it to me and sit on my bed while I do this editing. And this right here, I have it hooked up to this wireless printer. My other computer's up here. I mostly do FL Studio music up here. This computer, this is my gaming computer, as you can see. So what I do on this is the one that runs Blender most of the time. I do my animation on this mostly. Flash drives, my mouse, and I have these little clothespins for my ideas. If I have something important, I just keep those right up here. And I'll just like pin stuff that might be useful or stuff I need to remember on these little flashcards. I use this rack right here, this little handle it came with for my headphones. These are my work headphones actually, but over here, these are my good headphones. These are my Beats. I use that when I'm on FL Studios. That way I can get a good sound quality and like also my audio, like my voices. I'll listen to it back on that while I'm doing my voices. Over there, I have another shelf that's got a lot of art supplies. It's got my sewing machine, my airbrush, my spray paints, costume making and whatnot. Over here, this is my shelf where I keep some other notebooks. A lot of this stuff is what I'll like sketch my ideas on or like write my ideas on before I go to bed. If I have an idea, I'll just reach over and grab one of them. Extra art supplies up here. This is my whiteboard. This is going to be like what I use for each individual comic as I'm working on it. Put stuff up here, write ideas I need to do. That way I can just like look over at it while I'm on my computer or while I'm drawing. A full like 180's worth of stuff. I got my drawing and storyboard area. I got my animation area, and they're just like right beside each other, and they don't get in the way of each other. You know what I'm saying? And I got my storage and whatnot. My planning. Like I have it all kind of separated into its own little thing. So first thing I do is I'll make a storyboard, right? I can doodle like stuff as I go. That way I can like, if I have an idea, I can just, you know, write it in as I'm doing the scene. And that way I also have like an idea of what the script is going to be and the action. So I'll write my storyboard, then I'll write my script. And I have my script set up in scenes. And I'll also write a page of the assets I need for each scene. It's going to be music that I need, foley, and drawing assets, whether it's digital models or if it's actual drawings that I'm using. For those, what I do is I have this right here. If I need to do like, you know, a rough sketch of a character that I want to look pretty good, I'll do a rough sketch like this, turn that on, and then I'll trace it out real nice, and then I'll color it. I will take them and upload them to my computer, and I'll go into GIMP since it's free. And then once I'm in GIMP, I will just edit those and erase the background and just make a transparent background. I'll take them from this computer, I'll put them onto this computer where I'll rig them in Blender, and then after that I have all my characters rigged in the same project, and I'll have my assets also. Alright, so here's all of the assets that I have drawn for my first episode. A lot of these are like stacked on each other because I can't show them all. There's way too many, but so I have a lot of backgrounds. I have like stock backgrounds for walls. I have like full rooms, and I have like close-ups. I have these right here, which I have just like a bunch drawn onto one sheet. That way I can just, you know, scan the one sheet in and then like edit out the background in GIMP. I have full scenes, you know, character cutouts like this, where I'll cut out each of these and then just piece them together in Blender. These ones that I actually cut out with scissors, because originally I was going to do this, you know, as like a cutout animation and do like a stop motion, but I was like, that's going to be way too long and way too, you know, time consuming to like actually do that. Here's the ones I had. As you can see, I had a lot, and that was just for like the first part of the first scene, so it's like ain't no way I'm going to be doing all that. These colors that I just drew on the paper, and I'll make a texture in Blender with these. For some of the scenes in my cartoon, I did make a procedural material just for a colored pencil effect using a noise texture, and you can see this like white texture in the background. We'll go over to the shading. I'm just going to show you the node tree real quick. So yeah, it's just a simple texture. I just have a noise texture with a mapping, and I have these two different colors. The B color is going to be that white, so that way it's going to be like a colored pencil. You know, when you do a colored pencil, you don't get all the paper unless you like color it hard, you know. So just to maintain that kind of vibe, I did do this in Blender. That way I can just change the color to whatever I want, and I'll have like a sky, then I'll have like grass, you know what I mean. I rigged all my characters in Blender, so if I go R and then X, I can just rotate these arms. And then what I did, so like here I have the hand, two different hands here, right? So what I do is I go over here, and then I'll find that hand, right? I have the Mindy hand and Mindy thumbs up. When I do my animation, what I'll do is I'll animate this camera right here that animates the visibility in the render. That way, whenever I'm doing one scene and she switches to the thumbs up, it'll switch between this hand and the thumbs up. And I did that for a lot of these where they have multiple hands. For example, we can see the doctor has multiple hands here. So you can see I have like multiple layers of faces behind this, right? And I have it so where when I want to hide one, I can switch between the facial expressions depending on what I need for that scene. As far as props go, I have all these edited with GIMP, so that way the background is transparent. As you can see, this arm right here, I use the knife tool and I just like cut this out so that way it's just not a square. That way I can access the pieces easier when I rotate them. And I have this set so where like certain pieces are behind each other. So if I do rotate this, all it takes is just like taking this and grabbing it on the certain axis, and then you can just bring it out. Alright, so here's my FL Studio project. This is where I make most of my music, or I'll use MuseScore. So I have all my songs, and from my intro song, I just took this is actually the original, and I used that later on in my animation, but I had the bluegrass version right here, and I just changed a lot of these instruments to like bluegrass instruments, right? So yeah, I do all my own Foley, except sometimes I do use sound effects from FL Studios. If I can't make that sound effect in real life, I'll just like edit a sound effect there, or I'll just like record it in real life and then edit it there. If it's like, for example, the explosion sound effects or thunder, for example, the thunder is just a piece of paper like going back and forth like that, right? So you gotta be creative, you know. So what I did, I put it in FL Studios and I just edited it so it's like pitched down, so it's more like a thunder sheet, you know what I mean? So sometimes I'll use like other models, like free, royalty-free models that are free to use in projects. and I have everything just set up here in the scene. I'll just like import things as I need it in the scene and move it around, hide what I don't need so it runs faster. So for my final scene, what I'll do is I will take all my scenes that I have rendered and I'll render them individually, so that way, and if in case something happens, I can just, you know, re-render and it doesn't mess up the whole project. So I have all my scenes here, and I'll just put all this in Blender video editing. And then if I need to do anything like add background sound effects, soundtracks, any kind of like editing, I'll just like do that in here. Any like post-production type stuff, like right here, all these are sound effects that I added post-production. And I'll show you my voice acting, but what I do, I'll also edit these down. I'll do like one continuous run and just like switch between all the voices, or like do all the voices for one character, and then I'll end the recording, and then I'll just upload them and like splice them apart. That way, you know, it's like organized. So if I go over here in the comics, you can see I have dialogue and I have the different scenes, and then for each scene I have each character. And when I need the scene, I'll have my script in front of me, and I'll just put these in the right order, so that way I have them all in order, and I can just put them in as I need.
You were right. She came back.
Yep, it all worked out.
Doctor.
I'm actually not a doctor.
Huh?
Go ahead.
You trying to trick me? Well, I might be dumb, but I'm not stupid. Donuts are what caused me to gain all that weight in the first place.
The surgery fixed all that. It ain't gonna have that effect on you anymore.
I look how I used to. How did I change back? How did that happen?
The pork rinds will change you to the other form, and the donut would bring you... the pork rinds will change you to the other form, and the donut will bring you back to this one.
Why would I want to change to the other one?
If you die in that form, you'll change back to your human form.
Wait, so I'm like a superhero now?
Well, sorta.
This is awesome. Thank you, Doctor.
I'm not a doctor.
Then who?
I'll tell you, but you have to join us first.
Yeah, of course. Of course I'll join you, duh. You're probably all superheroes then, right?
Well, this is actually a gang.
What? Huh?
Oh, by the way, it took about 4 months to do this whole thing. So I just want to let y'all know why I haven't been uploading tutorials, because I have been like so busy. Oh my goodness. I'm so exhausted. I'm so exhausted from doing all this. Literally, like, my job, I work like between 7 or 8 hours, maybe 9 or so, maybe 10, 11 hours, depending on if I do overtime. Depending on the overtime, like I said, I'll get home at like 10, maybe 11. And if I do like overtime in the other department, I'll, you know, have like maybe 12 or 1 o'clock nights. So that's like so much time there. Then I come home and I have a certain amount of time to do animation. So I have really been trying to do animation. So I've been working on that for at least like 5 or 6 hours after work. And I go to sleep at 6 in the morning and get like 5 or 6 hours of sleep for work. That's why I haven't had time to do no tutorials or nothing. This is a behind the scene video because I finally got my animation done. And I recorded some of my stuff in the meantime. That way I can like show you what I've been doing. So I guess that's about it for this video. But I have some ideas coming up for some videos. I plan on doing them. Hopefully I'll get around to it. Trying to get this next episode done. and I'm trying to see how fast I can do it. So if I have some time, I will definitely try to do some tutorials. So yeah, be on the lookout for those if you're interested. And if you like this animation process, well, just let me know. Let me know what you think. Let me know if there's anything I can do to, like, make my process better. So I appreciate any feedback. Yeah, thank you very much. Bye.